7, 6, 5, 4, 3.
OK, here we go.
Hello, chums. Are you sitting comfortably? Then we'll begin the continuing story of Top of the Pops.
Pop, pop, pop music. Pop, pop, pop music.
1979, the year in which Top of the Pops celebrated its 15th anniversary, its 800th edition, and was still the only pop show that mattered. And in 79, the range of styles on Top of the Pops was never greater. You had punk turning into new wave. Disco was on fire. Two-tone arrived with bands like Madness.
Even if I kept on running, I'd never get to Orange Street.
And that's not to mention reggae,
Money in my pocket, but I just can't get no love.
country. The list goes on.
Rubbish. And the audience agree, so it's a miss all round.
Next, he set his sights on Top of the Pops.
This is Public Image Limited and Death Disco.
When we had Public Image in the studio, there was a lot of, oh gosh, we've got this edgy band in. Are they going to behave themselves? Are they going to do something, you know, really shocking?
I've only found out over the years how nervous we made people.
But special effects couldn't disguise a punk iceberg heading straight for the good ship Top of the Pops. The show's crew of long-serving light entertainers were lined up in the sights of the young new wave generation. But the hallowed walls of the BBC Club and Bar, untouched by human hand since its opening in 1960, were restricted to BBC Club members only.
Every band member, of course, rocked up to the BBC Bar, tried to go in and say, you know, I'm a friend of.
Barry, just slight problem here.
A few studios along, in number 3, there's a new classic serial in rehearsal. This sort of production uses a great deal of scenery.
The social mix of the BBC Bar reflected a TV centre which, in '79, was in its bustling heyday, producing a vast array of programmes.
Lunchtime. And there are 4 canteens to choose from at the centre. Here, secretaries and sound engineers can mingle with cardinals and kings.
Yeah, the mix in the BBC Club afterwards was great because you'd see people who were coming off the sets of popular drama.
Oh, look, there's Soames from, you know, Forsyte Saga, or there'd be someone from Blue Peter, and there's Doctor Who over there.
Think of the thing which has frightened you most on Doctor Who recently. The chances are that it started life here.
So, joining Tony Bennett at the BBC Bar in '79 are The Ruts, Madness, Legs & Co, Soames from Forsyte Saga, Jar Wobble, Aliens from Doctor Who, and this lot from Camberley.
You're out of line, mister.
Back at the start of the decade, the Top of the Pops audience were a vital part of the show and seemed delighted to be there. By '79, the studio audience looked, well, lost.
There was this kind of small group of kids that they kind of shepherd around like sheep.
And they really treated them badly. The cameras would come at them and they really had to duck and get out of the way very, very quickly.
They'd push the crowd about, like herding them about.
It was just like living scenery.
Go
confused. We don't seem to know what we're doing. Like a blind man spinning round in space.
They don't look all that happy. So they've all got to come over here now and be happy around this band, and they probably don't like the band.
Sometimes I think the audience could look as if they're in a state of shock. There was always the thing of, if possible, please keep moving, please keep dancing, please look like you're having a good time. And try not to look at the monitors. But of course, who can resist that?
There's like this vibe of loads of people being in there. You know, you've got this huge round of applause, but if you look at the front of the stage, you'll see that those people aren't clapping at all. It's canned applause. You know, there are 20 kids in there.
This is Rosie, they are Legs and Company, and this is Michael Jackson, Off the Wall.
In December 79, with a lifeless studio audience, the producers took steps to address the problem.
The producer had sent a message down saying, you know, we want to use the audience and make sure they're participating and looking like they're having a really good time. 2 or 3 people took that slightly to the extreme. I remember there was one gentleman who had a bright red V-neck pullover on. And as the music started, he was getting really into it, clapping away and a little bit over the top, but warming up all the time, and it was getting more and more noticeable to this person behind us. And then, halfway through the routine, there were a couple of boys in the front, and one of them was getting so excited, completely over the top. And as Rosie came forward, we were all coming forward in a diagonal line, he just fell off the chair and couldn't get back up again. And for the whole routine, he'd obviously been told, stay there, don't move. And you can see his feet kicking up and socks and what have you. And I don't think he actually gets back up on the chair again for the rest of the routine.
I Only Want to Be With You, in sound, if not vision, tonight. And now, a change in tempo. A surprise single release. It's come out from Pink Floyd. Another brick in the wall.